This is not exactly all that surprising, really, and it just kind of confirmed everything I was thinking about when it comes to the thought process behind the Biden administration. Okay, so Brittney Griner, yes, the only WNBA player that you'll probably know by name, has been released after a prisoner swap. It was just a really fair, though, one for one, somebody who was also just kind of held on something that's just kind of generally accepted in the United States, right? You take Griner, who's locked up. What did she end up getting? A 9-year stint in Russian jail or something like that? I don't know. We've seen some pictures of her on the jet so far, and it doesn't really look like she was put in any hard work labor camps or anything like that. But no. She was up, 9-year stint on knowingly and repeatedly breaking the law when it came to bringing drugs in Russia. That's a no-no. She is a goddamn criminal. But no. She got exchanged for an arms dealer. Viktor Bout, okay? I don't know exactly where he picked up the name the Merchant of Death somewhere along the way, but apparently, according to the Biden administration, that was a fair trade. That was a one-for-one deal that, the United States just couldn't pass up. And I'm along the same thought process of Jason Whitlock here, somebody who I respect quite a bit. He has some kind of brain dead takes every once in a while, but hey man, I think he's pretty much bang on this one. Help me wrap my mind around this Griner for death trade. Feels like merch. I would say, I wouldn't even put it feels like. I would just put, this is one of the lowest points in U.S. foreign policy history. You think? Okay, or am I exaggerating? I don't really think so, man. Give me some perspective. What compares? A big 2.0. Hey, man, I'm not too sure what he's referencing there, but when it comes to American foreign policy, how do you make it make sense, okay? Some superfluous athlete that absolutely hates the United States, and I'm just wondering here, T-minus a couple of days before she gets her face in front of a microphone and the first press conference is going to be, I'd like to thank the United States for getting me back from Russia, but I'd also like to say that it took way longer than what I anticipated. She'll be kneeling again in front of the fucking anthem, okay? You bet your bottom dollar on it, because she hates America, okay? That's just a popular sentiment that's out there, and yes, this happened all the way back in July of 2020, July 28th, 2020 is when this article was posted. Brittney Griner wants the WNBA to stop playing the National Anthem. She's going to sit in the locker room before the game. She was taking knees. She was giving off a bunch of different interviews about how racist and systemic all of the injustice against the people are. And it's like, yeah, no, we went over all this stuff when all of this news first broke. And it's like, you broke the law in another country. And then you wanted that same country that you hated, publicly hated multiple times over, to come and rescue you because why exactly? No, I understand. A lot of people think that, drug laws are stupid and people should be able to do whatever they want. Well, these are different laws in different fucking lands. You knowingly and you willingly break them in places where you go in order to make money. Because it's not like she was going over there on a trip and she's like, oh my God, I just thought it's going to come over here and party. It's like, no, you were going over there to play professional basketball, extract resources. It's not like you were adding your name value, okay? You weren't providing any star power to that fucking league because nobody knew you were playing in Russia, or the fact that you had to. Fucking nobody knew who the hell you were. I think you're like the, second woman ever to dunk in the WNBA? Nobody watches this horseshit. And this is the most attention this piss-poor fucking league has gotten in a very long time. But as you can tell, I'm a little bit worked up by this story because I know all of the outlying events that are outside of this one, been following it, in the background for a hot minute. But just the fact that the White House said the quiet part out loud, and it's like, okay, cool. So I understand. I understand your guys' thought process. You did a little bit of self-snitching on yourself, and it's like, oh, okay, cool. The future is not going to be friendly to you and me. American Brittney Griner, American in name only, released by Russia in prisoner swap for arms dealer Viktor Bout. WNBA basketball player Brittney Griner has been released by Russian authorities for a prisoner swap for convicted arms dealer Viktor Bout. She's safe. She's on a plane, man. She's on her way home. Biden told reporters at a December 8th briefing at the White House, "This is the day we've worked toward for a long time. We never stop pushing for her release.
it took painstaking and intense negotiations, man. And I want to thank all the hardworking public servants across my administration who worked tirelessly to secure a release.
It's almost like you could probably have more productive negotiations with Russian officials, regarding something maybe a little bit more important. But no, we need to get our giant basketball player back. 32-year-old Griner, who plays for the WNBA's Phoenix Mercury. If I would have asked you what team she played for, nobody would have remembered. I didn't even remember until I just read that. And had been playing in Russia during the league's off-season, was arrested in February after customs officials found her in possession of vaping cartridges containing less than 1 ounce of cannabis oil, an illegal substance in Russia. Doesn't fucking matter. You broke the law. There was a trial. You were going away for 9 years. Griner pleaded guilty while explaining that she had been prescribed cannabis for chronic pain and inadvertently packed it. Yeah, it doesn't much matter, man. If a country tells you can't bring that shit across its borders, you don't fucking do it. Otherwise, you face the consequences. But, I didn't know I did it. She was sentenced to 9 years in prison, and after an appeal was rejected, she began serving time at a penal colony in Mordovia in November, her lawyers told media outlets. Her lawyers said that. Oh, okay, cool. Any proof of that stuff? I'm sure that's some of those fine details that the Biden administration were combing over. And it's like, oh man, she can't go out there, man. We can't let that happen. Who do we have that we can exchange? Here you go. Here's a fair trade. Bout, 55, was serving a 25-year sentence. He was convicted in 2011. Bout, known as the Merchant of Death, was working to sell millions of dollars worth of weapons, including 800 surface-to-air missiles and 30,000 AK-47s, to Fuerzas Armadas Revolucionarias de Colombia, a designated foreign terrorist group based in Colombia, to kill Americans there, according to prosecutors. There you go. Seems like somebody who's, just definitely, man. You guys did not get dog-fucked by this fucking exchange. But no, it's like I made reference to before, it's like Russia's in the midst of something, a little bit contentious, to say the least. Fears freed Merchant of Death, Viktor Bout, would go back to arms dealing. Yeah, he was just freed by the Russian government, and the Russian government might need to acquire a couple of things here. You think this guy's contacts are probably still good? You think that the Russian government isn't going to be more than willing to facilitate that to happen? Or maybe even cut off some Ukrainians? I've made my stance known on that situation, okay? I've made it well fucking known, and I think the media coverage on that is absurd, but I can also take a look at this and be like, this is definitely a fucking categorical win, okay? For one side. And what did the other side get? Okay, they got somebody who could tick off some fucking diversity boxes. Okay, because this is the first thing that I seen in regards to Brittney Griner being released earlier this morning. Okay, Jean-Pierre. Oh yeah, she gave her a nice press conference. It's so nice that somebody who looks like a freed prisoner, okay, can just come out and make the same stupid boilerplate fucking remarks that Joe Biden was fed through a teleprompter. Brittney Griner's on her release, she says she represents the best of America. It's like I seen that and it's like, oh, okay, cool. So a convicted felon? Kind of a fucking weird thing to point out. But no. You take a look at things a little bit deeper, and then just to summarize this, and it's like they tweeted this out a little bit later. Brittney is an important role model. Okay, an inspiration to millions of Americans, particularly the alphabet mafia and women of color. There it is. She checks off 3 fucking boxes. And who do those 3 boxes vote for? I'll just break it down. Gays, women, and I don't know if she's black or what her fucking actual racial breakdown is. But minorities, sexual minorities, and women are kind of, I think they're the majority now. What's the singular largest voting bloc for the Democratic Party? Oh, at a clip of 68%, 39% of the vote, single females. Don't worry, guys. If you check off enough identity politics boxes, the Biden administration's got your back on that one. Meanwhile, though, if you're a Marine, somebody who didn't kneel for the national anthem, okay, somebody who didn't disrespect the American flag, somebody who, in fact, wrapped himself around it and defended the country, you can rot in prison. Meanwhile, the famous person can get released from prison. This is where it started to really piss me off, because this guy's name, he was put into the early discussions, okay? This was when we first started covering this. It was going to be a Griner and Whelan trade. Sorry, no disrespect for the guy who's probably going to end up fucking dying in prison. There should just be a gay black lady who can barely dunk a basketball. You might have had a better chance to get out for a convicted dangerous arms dealer during a hot war. It begs belief. It's a fucking affront to logic. But yes, Biden leaves Marine Paul Whelan behind in Russia in Brittney Griner swap. Family says it's a catastrophe. Yeah, you could see it, I think, just off to the side here, but there was a message sent out by a Dallas Cowboys cornerback or something, like Micah Parsons, I think. I think that's who that is, but it really doesn't much matter. He tweeted something out. It's like, wow, you let Griner go, but you left a Marine to rot in jail, and he's at least on very dubious fucking charges, because we're going to get into this just to refresh everybody's memory, because I think this is I hate it. I hate it so fucking much. But no. He tweeted that out, and then a couple hours later, he got hit from the mafia. And he's like, I understand how dangerous my comments are. I'm so glad that Brittney Griner's family can welcome her back. And you know what? I was wrong about all my stance. It's like, bro, just fucking wear it like a badge of honor, okay? You could still beat her in a 1-to-1 game of basketball, even though you play football. And this dumb bitch, okay? She should have had to, okay? Because another thing that she did back in the cut, which is fucking hilarious, said that she could beat DeMarcus Cousins, okay, in a game of 1-on-1 basketball. She is, maybe she was high at the fucking time, okay? So she's arrogant, she's anti-patriotic, and she is the perfect representation for the Biden administration. Family of retired Marine Paul Whelan said Thursday that a prisoner swap for a WNBA star Brittney Griner that left Whelan in Russia was a catastrophe because the United States would no longer have leverage to free him. No, exactly. This is the most high profile. I don't know if they have any other, Russian-born prisoners that they can negotiate with, but ain't gonna fucking happen. On Thursday, it was revealed that Biden's administration had returned Griner to United States custody after she had been sentenced for a drug charge. In exchange, it gave Russia convicted arms dealer Viktor Bout, but Whelan was left behind in Russia. Although the Biden administration had been telling reporters for months that the U.S. was trying to secure him as well, he has been imprisoned on spying charges. Spying charges. See, that's at least where the charges start to get a little bit more unclear, okay? Because you had Bout, who was in there, okay? He was running guns. Pretty concrete. That's either a yes or a no. We got receipts to prove it. And then you got Griner. You brought pot into the country? Yes, I did. Okay, cool. You go away. Whelan, espionage charges. You were spying and relaying information back to the United States government. Can you prove any of that? We got espionage charges. Interesting. Very fucking interesting. NBC News reported Thursday that Whelan's relatives said that they had been warned in advance of the impending Griner swap and that it would not include Whelan, so they could prepare themselves for disappointment. Great. Should have denounced America multiple times over, okay? Should have said that your service was all for naught, and maybe you would have gotten a spare seat on the private jet home. Whelan's brother, David Whelan, said in a statement that while he can literally only imagine the joy Griner will have being reunited with her loved ones and in time for the holidays, yes, it's so nice. I don't know what, probably some fucking gay form of Kwanzaa or some shit that she fucking celebrates, commie. The inability to also bring Whelan home remains difficult for the family to process. The early warning meant that our family has been able to mentally prepare for what is now a public disappointment for us and a catastrophe for Paul, David Whelan said. I don't even know if he is aware yet, although he surely will learn from Russian media. Biden's prisoner swap continues a pattern in which Democratic administration swaps high-level prisoners, even with pallets of cash. Yeah, that was the previous administration, the one that Biden was a part of as a vice president. Barack Obama would just leave pallets of cash out for just some people to, I don't know, you just come take this, you leave some other stuff, and we'll just, we'll just call it copacetic right there. Don't worry about it. WNBA star and celebrity is also a black lesbian who protested the United States National Anthem. Whelan is a middle-aged white guy, and that's the entire fucking impetus for all this fucking nonsense. But I'm going to play this without any sound, and as you can see, the Biden administration doesn't give a fuck what anybody has to say. They're going to do exactly what they want to, okay? Jean-Pierre doesn't have to take any of your shit. Biden doesn't have to answer to anybody. That party is just going to continue to win elections in perpetuity, and they are going to do whatever the fuck they want without any accountability, any repercussions, because guess what? They have the best interest of the American people at heart. It doesn't much matter if you want to stand up for the national anthem. It doesn't matter if you want to disrespect the flag. They got your back on that one, as long as you can fill out those check boxes as appropriately as they need you to. It is disgusting, despicable, and I'm getting her the fuck off of my goddamn screen right now. She makes me sick to my stomach. I'm so glad. I am so glad we are getting one of our own back in the United States, okay, at the expense of the lives and safety of many Ukrainians, Colombians, Americans, who even knows at one point or another. But Viktor Bout is freed, Brittney Griner is freed, and Paul Whelan gets to rot away the rest of his days in a fucking Russian jail. What a time to be alive, isn't it? So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.